Walk the same way as always, past the ticket gates and signs. Didn't really look around, just following the line. Half the lights were already dimmed, rush hour left a while ago. Then a yellow notice on the wall said that way was closed. People turned without a word, shoes echoing on the floor. I followed everyone else down a hallway I've ignored. A few extra corners, a different set of stairs. Funny how the same place feels new when you come up somewhere else. Different side of the station, same train underneath. A street I've never walked before, right across from me. Different side of the station, nothing major change. Still headed in the same direction, just taking a different lane. Different side of the station, the night moving slow. A place I wasn't looking for, but didn't mind to know. Small bakery near closing time, a stack of trays behind the glass. Someone locking up a bike, watching two buses pass. A pharmacy with faded signs, a laundromat still running late. Three people waiting at a stoplight, they've always been there. I checked the time once on my phone, then slipped it in my coat. No reason left to hurry now, nowhere I had to be soon. A few extra corners, a different stretch of road. Funny what you notice when you stop trying to get home. Different side of the station, same train underneath. A street I've never walked before, right across from me. Different side of the station, nothing major change. Still headed in the same direction, just taking a different lane. Different side of the station, the night moving slow. A place I wasn't looking for, but didn't mind to know. Tomorrow I might use the usual way, take the same stairs as before. Forget the names of half these stores and which windows stay lit. But for tonight, that doesn't matter much. Different side of the station, same train underneath. A street I've never walked before, right across from me. Different side of the station, nothing major change. Still headed in the same direction, just taking a different lane. Different side of the station, the night moving slow. A place I wasn't looking for, but didn't mind to know. Different side of the station, different side tonight. Different side of the station, still on my way home. Different side of the station, that's all it had to be. Different side of the station, and that was enough for me. Stop by the place on the corner, a few minutes after 8. Same counter, same playlist, same people coming late. Ordered something warm to go, stepped aside and checked my phone. Watched the numbers climb the screen while everybody came and went. A couple names got called twice, someone laughed near the door. The rain stayed somewhere far away, traffic rolled along outside. I looked up every now and then, certain I'd hear mine soon. A few more minutes passed, then a few more after that. Started wondering if I missed it, somewhere in the noise. Already picked up, that's what they told me. Already picked up before I got to see it. Already picked up, must have walked out with somebody. Already picked up, funny how that happens. Went back to the counter, asked if they could check again. They looked down at the order list, then looked back up and smiled. Said it happens once in a while. Same drink, same size. Somebody probably heard her name and thought it sounded right, so they started making one again. Nothing left to figure out. I moved a little closer to the glass and watched the steam rise up. Nobody seemed concerned, nobody seemed surprised, like it was part of every week, and tonight was just my turn. Already picked up, that's what they told me. Already picked up, before I got to see. Already picked up, must have walked out with somebody. Already picked up, funny how that happens. The second one took less time, maybe because I wasn't waiting, just watching headlights move across the window, one after another. No hurry anymore. Already picked up, that's what they told me. Already picked up, before I got to see. Already picked up, someone's probably halfway home. Already picked up, already picked up, holding the wrong cup. Already picked up, not much else to say. Already picked up, got mine anyway. Already picked up, the night kept moving. Already picked up, and so did I. Grabbed it on the way out, leaning by the front door. Black handle folded up, same one as before. Coffee in my other hand, key somewhere in my coat. Didn't think about it twice, just another thing to hold. The train was running on time, the day moved pretty fast. Meetings, calls, a late lunch, one thing into the next. I set a few things down, picked a few things up, never really kept track of what stayed where. The sky got darker early, people checked the forecast. That's when I reached beside me and found nothing there. Headed this morning, I'm sure of that much. Headed this morning, now I can't tell where it was lost. Headed this morning, somewhere between here and then. Headed this morning, that's where the story ends. Try retracing little pieces, the chair near the window, the corner seat on the train, the cafe with the short line. Maybe by the counter, maybe by the door, maybe leaning against the table like it had before. Funny how a whole day fits inside a missing thing. Places I'd already forgotten started coming back again. Not enough to find it, just enough to wonder how long it had been gone before I finally noticed. Headed this morning, I'm sure of that much. Headed this morning, now I can't tell where it was lost. Headed this morning, somewhere between here and then. Headed this morning, that's where the story ends. A few drops at the sidewalk, nothing I could do now. People opening umbrellas like a quiet signal. I stood under an awning, watching traffic lights change, thinking more about the day than that much. Had it this morning, now I can't tell where it was lost. Had it this morning, somewhere between here and then. Had it this morning, that's where the story ends. Had it this morning, or at least I think I did. Had it this morning, funny what goes missing. Had it this morning, never saw you leave. Had it this morning, that's enough for me. Yeah. Yeah. Stood in front of the closet a little longer than I meant to. Pulled something from the bag, still had the tag loop. Didn't seem like a big deal, just fabric in a different shape. But halfway through the morning, everything felt slightly changed. Reached to the side for my keys, found nothing but air. Held them for a second, then carried them somewhere else. By noon I stopped noticing, or at least I thought I did. Then I'd do it again. Walking out of a store, looking for a place that wasn't there, like every other day before. No pockets today, kept reaching anyway. No pockets today, some habits like to stay. No pockets today, phone in one hand all day. No pockets today, still forgotten, checked the same place. Waiting for the crosswalk, the wind picked up a little. Pressed one hand against the fabric, held my coffee with the other. A receipt, folded twice, stayed inside my bag. Usually it disappears somewhere in my jacket. Little things kept changing places. Nothing serious at all, just enough to make the day feel unfamiliar and small. Not better, not worse, just different enough to notice every now and then. No pockets today, kept reaching anyway. No pockets today, some habits like to stay. No pockets today, phone in one hand all day. No pockets today, still forgotten, check the same place. Outside the station, I caught my reflection for a second. I understood why I picked it this morning. Then somebody walked between us and the thought was gone. Just another thing, the day moved on from. No pockets today, kept reaching anyway. No pockets today, some habits like to stay. No pockets today, phone in one hand all day. No pockets today, still forgotten, check the same place. No pockets today, that's all it really was. No pockets today, nothing more than that. No pockets today, still smiling to myself. No pockets today, maybe again sometime later. Woke up before the alarm, thought I was ahead of the day. Made coffee a little slower, like I'd already made it through the week. The train felt lighter somehow, or maybe that was just me. Looking out the window thinking tomorrow could wait its turn. Someone asked about a meeting, I said let's leave that for Monday. They looked at me for a second, then kept walking away. Didn't think much of it then. A few small things didn't fit, but I let them pass like loose threads on a sleeve. Not worth pulling at. Still Thursday since the first cup this morning. Still Thursday, nobody stopped me. Still Thursday, I was already halfway to Friday. Still Thursday, at least according to everybody else. Lunch came and went, I kept treating the clock kindly. No reason to rush through anything, the weekend felt close enough. Someone says see you tomorrow, and I answered yeah, enjoy your Friday. They laughed before correcting me, I laughed a second later. Funny how a whole day changes without moving at all. Just one square on a calendar, sitting where it always was. I checked my phone twice, then checked it once again. Like maybe the date would change out of sympathy. Still Thursday since the first cup this morning. Still Thursday, nobody stopped me. Still Thursday, I was already halfway to Friday. Still Thursday, at least according to everybody else. Walking home after sunset, the city looked exactly the same. Cars stopped at the same light, stores closed at the same time. Nothing had really happened, nothing was out of place, except I'd been living one day ahead all day. Still Thursday since the first cup this morning. Still Thursday, nobody stopped me. Still Thursday, I was already halfway to Friday. Still Thursday, at least according to everybody else. Still Thursday, guess I'll do it all tomorrow. Still Thursday, no harm done. Still Thursday, just one day early. Still Thursday, that's all it was. Running a little late, coffee getting cold in my hand. Pulled a shirt from the chair, didn't even check. Train doors closing halfway, someone holding them open. The day started moving fast, and I moved with it. A meeting before noon, a line outside the cafe. Nothing unusual yet, nothing worth remembering. A reflection in a window, gone before I looked twice. Guess I had other things on my mind. Nobody said anything, not at the station, not at the counter, not across the table. Nobody said anything all day long. I kept walking around like nothing was wrong. Nobody said anything. Maybe nobody noticed. Maybe they did and left it alone. The afternoon disappeared into small conversations. A receipt in my pocket, keys on the wrong side. Someone asked how I've been. I gave the usual answer, the kind that fills a silence without changing it. Outside, the air got cooler, store lights started showing up. The city looked the same as every other Thursday. Then I caught myself in the glass of a closed shop, and and stop for half a second. Nobody said anything, not at the station, not at the counter, not across the table. Nobody said anything all day long. I kept walking around like nothing was wrong. Nobody said anything. Maybe nobody noticed. Maybe they did and left it alone. Tag on the outside, seems where they shouldn't be. Funny that I made it this far before it reached me. Not embarrassing, not important, just one more thing that they decided to keep. Nobody said anything, not at the station, not at the counter, not across the table. Nobody said anything all day long. I kept walking around like nothing was wrong. Nobody said anything. Maybe nobody noticed. Maybe they did and left it alone. Nobody said anything until the window did. Nobody said anything, and somehow that fit. Two bags in my left hand, one tucked underneath my arm. Nothing I couldn't carry, just heavier than I thought. Past the automatic doors into the evening air. The parking lot was quieter than when I got there. I turned without thinking, headed where I always do. Certain I remember it, certain enough to move. Rows of silver, black and white, looked familiar from a distance. That's when I slowed down, a little more than usual, looking for something that wasn't looking back. Level 3, maybe, that's what I kept saying. Level 3, maybe, walking past the same cars again. Level 3, maybe, or maybe one below. Level 3, maybe, I really thought I knew. Took the elevator down, checked the blue section first, then the yellow signs, then back the other way. A cart rolled by itself across an empty space. Someone loaded groceries without needing to think twice. I tried to picture arriving, which side I came in from, but every version in my head ended somewhere different. Funny how confidence can disappear so quietly, one floor at a time. Level 3, maybe, that's what I kept saying. Level 3, maybe, walking past the same cars again. Level 3, maybe, or maybe one below. Level 3, maybe, I really thought I knew. Finally pressed the help button, felt a little ridiculous. The guy asked for the model, then read out the location. A minute later, there it was, exactly where I left it, just nowhere near where I thought. Level 3, maybe, guess I got it wrong. Level 3, maybe, had the answer all along. Level 3, maybe, not even close this time. Level 3, maybe, at least I made it home. Level 3, maybe, that's how the night went. Level 3, nothing more than that. Level 3, maybe, small thing to laugh about. on the drive back home. Scroll through the usual places, same photos, same 5 stars. Added something to the cart, then changed it once or twice. The rain had already stopped, the sidewalk still looked wet. A delivery time popped up, 28 minutes left. I made it all the way to the checkout screen, finger hovering there like it was waiting on me. Then for no real reason, not one I could explain, I locked my phone and grabbed my keys. Walked there instead, closed the app and left. Walked there instead, didn't think much past that. Walked there instead, past the corner and the lights. Walked there instead, on an ordinary night. A couple stores were closing, someone stacked chairs outside. A bus pulled away slowly, half empty inside. The place was only 10 minutes, maybe 12 with the red lights, closer than it ever looked on a map at home. I ordered at the counter, same thing I picked before the guy asked for here or to go, like it mattered anymore. Funny how a short walk can make a place feel different, even when nothing changed at all. Walked there instead, closed the app and left. Walked there instead, didn't think much past that. Walked there instead, past the corner and the lights. Walked there instead, on an ordinary night. The food came out quicker than the estimate back home. I sat near the window, watched people heading somewhere. No lesson in it, no reason to remember, but somehow I probably will. Walk there instead, closed the app and left. Walk there instead, didn't think much past that. I walked there instead, past the corner and the lights. Walked there instead, on an ordinary night. Walked there instead, that's all it was. Walked there instead, nothing more than that. Walked there instead, the long way back. Walked there instead, and slept just fine. Left the place around 9, receipt folded in my pocket. Street lights stretching across the sidewalk, traffic taking its time. The cup felt lighter than before, I've been carrying it for blocks, taking small sips between red lights without really thinking. A couple stores were closing up, someone pulled down a metal gate. The air had cooled off a little since I first stepped outside. Almost home, at least that's what I thought. Looking for a trash can at the next corner. One sip left, thought I was done with it. One sip left, sitting at the bottom. One sip left, standing by the crosswalk. One sip left, on the way back home. Tilted the cup just to check, more out of habit than hope. Heard the ice move first, then something fall Not enough to matter much, not enough to save for later, just enough to make me stop for a second longer. The signal changed to green, people started crossing. I stayed where I was until the cup was empty. Funny how the smallest things can delay a moment without changing anything. One sip left, thought I was done with it. One sip left, sitting at the bottom. One sip left, standing by the crosswalk. One sip left, on the way back home. No surprise waiting there, no lesson hiding in it. Just a little more than expected at the end of something. The city kept moving, cars rolled through the lights, and I stood still for one more sip. One sip left, but I was done with it. One sip left, sitting at the bottom. One sip left, standing by the crosswalk. One sip left, on the way back home. One sip left, that was all it was. One sip left, before the night moved on. One sip left, nothing worth writing down. One sip left, still glad I checked. A couple bags in one hand, phone down to 3%. Nothing left on the list tonight, just heading home again. The place was getting quieter, one store still had its lights on. Someone wheeled a cart across the floor as I walked by. Saw the escalator waiting, like it always does. Didn't think about it once until I stepped on. One foot forward and the other, and right between the two, something changed. Right when I stepped on, the whole thing stops. Right when I stepped on, like it had been waiting. Right when I stepped on, I looked around for answers. Right when I stepped on, nobody seemed to have one. A few people checked their watches, someone pressed a button twice. The guy behind me laughed a little, like he'd seen this before. For a second nobody moved, then somebody took the first step, and suddenly the escalator was just a staircase again. Funny how fast we adjust when a plan gets smaller. Nobody made a scene, we just kept going. The sign lit up, a quiet warning, a little late to be useful. Right when I stepped on, the whole thing stopped. Right when I stepped on, like it had been waiting. Right when I stepped on, I looked around for answers. Right when I stepped on, nobody seemed to have one. Halfway to the next floor, I started laughing too. Not because it mattered, not because it was strange, just the timing of it, too perfect to ignore. Like the night had decided to add one more thing. Right when I stepped on, the whole thing stopped. Right when I stepped on, like it had been waiting. Right when I stepped on, maybe it would've happened anyway. Right when I stepped on, still felt personal somehow. Right when I stepped on, that's all it took. Right when I stepped on, nothing more than that. Right when I stepped on, and the rest of the night kept moving. Stopped by the store on the way back, just for something cold to drink. The kind of stop that takes 2 minutes, at least that's what I thought. The cooler lights were humming, rows of labels looking back. Too many choices for a Thursday, too many for one hand. Picked one up and checked the price, put it back beside another. Compared things I wouldn't remember 5 minutes later. Same shelf, same 3 bottles, going in circles for no good reason. Pick the first one anyway, after all that time. Pick the first one anyway, standing under fluorescent lights. Pick the first one anyway, like I hadn't changed my mind. Pick the first one anyway, guess I had it right the first time. Someone grabbed a drink and left without even slowing down. A worker stocked the bottom shelf like there was nothing to think about. I checked the labels once again, then checked them one more time, looking for a difference big enough to make the choice feel easier. But they all seem close enough to end up in the same place. Funny how the smallest decisions can take the longest when nobody's waiting. Pick the first one anyway, after all that time. Pick the first one anyway, standing under fluorescent lights. Pick the first one anyway, like I hadn't changed my mind. Pick the first one anyway, guess I had it right the first time. Maybe I was tired, maybe I was just in no rush, watching the door slide open, watching people come and go. The song playing overhead changed twice before I finally moved. Pick the first one anyway, after all that time. Pick the first one anyway, standing under fluorescent lights. Pick the first one anyway, like I hadn't changed my mind. Pick the first one anyway, guess I had it right the first time. Carried it outside. Pick the first one anyway. The night kept going. Pick the first one anyway. Nothing more to figure out. Pick the first one anyway, and headed home. Yeah. The elevator took its time, same as every other night. A grocery bag in one hand, key somewhere out of sight. The hallway lights were humming, nobody else around, just the sound of my footsteps following me down. Stopped in front of my door, set the bag beside my feet, pressed the numbers without looking like I do every week. The lock flashed red once, then again. I tried it twice. Wrong code, didn't even think about it. Wrong code, fingers moving on their own. Wrong code, long day following me home. Wrong code, before I knew where I was. Looked at the keypad again, that's when it clicked. Those were my numbers, not for this door. Use them every morning, use them every afternoon. Funny how they showed up here hours after leaving. A neighbor walked past slowly, trying not to smile too much. I nodded like nothing happened and started over. One small pause, one quiet second between habit and home. Wrong code, didn't even think about it. Wrong code, fingers moving on their own. stuck in your head or a route you don't remember learning. I stood there laughing at a door I've opened for years, like it belonged to somebody else for half a minute. Wrong code, didn't even think about it. Wrong code, fingers moving on their own. Wrong code, long day following me home. Wrong code, before I knew where I was. Then the right one. Wrong code, nothing more than that. Wrong code, the lock turned green and the night carried on. The bus pulled in right on time, headlights cutting through the dark. A few people gathered closer before the door slid shut. Some stepped off with the backpack, someone squeezed in at the last second. The driver checked the mirror once, then eased away from the curb. A guy a few steps from the stop looked up from his phone too late, close enough to see the number, close enough to make a run. But he didn't move, not even once. Just watched the taillights getting smaller. Didn't run for it, didn't call out, didn't wave a hand, didn't try somehow, didn't run for it. Just stood where he was, like the next one was enough. Like that was enough. The straight got quiet again, a coffee cup balanced on the bench. A bike rolled through the intersection without slowing down. He checked something on the screen, put it back into his pocket, looked across the road for a while at nothing I could see. The arrival board changed numbers, a few minutes added on. Nobody seemed surprised by it, not even him. The night kept going without permission, without asking anyone. Didn't run for it, didn't call out, didn't wave a hand, didn't try somehow, didn't run for it. Just stood where he was, like the next one was enough. Like that was enough. Maybe he was tired, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he'd missed this one before and knew another would come. I never found out. The bus arrived and that was all. Didn't run for it, didn't call out, didn't wait.